Hello everyone to another episode of WICSO. This is episode 9 and I've actually just nailed the saying for once. Yes. Anyway, let's get to it. If you can see here, I've actually given a name to all of the countries. If you want to give any of the names, comment below because I'll probably change them. Like for example, Nordic. Yeah, I didn't know what it's called, I just called it the Nordics, I guess. I've also updated the stability map. If you see this is the new one, this is the old one. You flip between them a bit. See? Delete the old one now. Anyway, I've also finished the province map. Let me turn off the names. That's the map. The names are there. Anyway, that is the updated province map. That's the wrong way. If you look there. Anyway, now I've showed you all of the stuff I've done. Let's get started. I've changed the colour of this major city up here, as they are going to be starting to pop up at the end of the video. So firstly, we have a rebellion starting inside of this country here. That I also did have to change the provinces for that, so they have really skinny ones. Anyway, the rebellion starts around up. Let me zoom in. Anyway, it starts up around here. And if you notice, it's a very familiar colour if you watched the previous episodes. The yellow team has really sprung up around the border of the capital. They're starting to spread from the red team mysteriously, as they rapidly start to get the population's support there. They start to basically surround the military that's in the capital, eventually taking it fully. So let me just change the capital colour. Anyway, the peace treaty is just full annexation. And the yellow team has returned. They're just going to do a bit of stabilising. Anyway, as a token of good relations, the red team does gift this island to this island country here, which is called Derby. I'll probably just, by the way, I had planned this in advance. The name of the yellow team is stricken. Might need to change that. Anyway, let's get back to exploring. The Grand Explorers Union, or the Line team, starts to send explorers up here, trying to discover the in-between area, which they successfully do, discovering this entire coast. Down here as well, they do the same thing, discovering this is a island and isn't a peninsula or anything like that. And they continue sending explorers up this river. I'm going to size it up so they can do proper river sizes. So they continue up that river, finding the source, which is a mountain which they're not going to go up due to it being hard. But they do send explorers away from the lake, discovering stuff like this. And I will probably make a river map if I get time, just so you don't need to imagine there's a river there. Anyway, they send explorers into this island, discovering basically all of it. I don't know why I said basically, it is all of it. We continue sending explorers further up here, discovering up to there. So, same down here, they discover up to there. Sending explorers around this area, they go down further, and a bit around up here, following the same trend up here. And for now, the Line team has yet again ran out of funding for more exploration. No, the ocean is not going to explore. Anyway, the blue team and the red team, we haven't talked about them. I don't think we mentioned them last episode. But the blue team has been stabilising and actually been trading with the Line team and this People's Republic down there, which is actually the only communist nation as it's set up by civilians, so they decided to do communism. Anyway, the blue team, knowing land is down here. They sent down some ships and actually settled a little colony down here. I've realised I have missed a few spots. I've also realised that is off camera, and sorry, it is there. Also setting up the colony there, they sent some explorers to explore the surrounding area, which is that, which actually helps the 19 explorers do the same thing up here. As the red team sees the blue team expansion, they decide to expand on their own, as they are superior power and they do not want to be, like, you know, shown up. So, I don't know why I'm doing that, I'll just do this. They take the thought of this island, also leading to the discovery of this section over here, which they do set up a small colony on the Horn area, and then explore around a bit, and decide to stop after that. As they move back down here, planning to explore and colonize first of all, just to show they are superior. Around there, moving to exploration happening around there, and the eventual discovery of this lake. While they discover around here, they move up around this island here, which they still believe is part of the mainland. They figure out this here is a island after, yet again that's off camera, let me zoom out. They send some explorers around here, fully discovering this island, well, coastal parts. And some explorers go down here, kind of making a theory that this may be an island. With the ground team also seeing the red expansion as a threat, they send some explorers to try to discover more land around here, as the mainland has become less profitable, as their colony has finally been built up a bit. They discover that much and expand fully around the coast of the island, like this. Eventually then doing the centre of the island, no, not that, the centre of the island at a later date, which I'm going to colour in now just in case I forget. Anyway, last episode we had the Stone Kingdom, I think I called them. Yeah, Kingdom of Stone, taking some land out of Cinderite State. I might just call them by colours, but there are names. But anyway, as the land is being taken, the Cinderite State decides to expand up north to try to get some land. They expand around this area, taking the lakes under their control, and also expand around like that. Like around the mountain, kind of just claiming the mountain. They don't actually have any villages or anything up there, it's just they own all the stuff around it, so there's no point doing anything. We also want to do this with it up there. Up here, I'm just going to call them the green team. The green team decides to send out some explorers that then start to explore here. Over the span of a few months while everything else is happening, they continue exploring until all of that is explored, moving to them exploring a bit here before they run out of funding yet again. But this rapid exploration also leads to the expansion of the green team rapidly as well to around here, followed by the purple team and the blue team that make a treaty, basically saying they get that and they get like this. The pink team, seeing this, moves down to kind of stop them expanding further across here, leading to that area becoming theirs. And then a joint effort from the pink, blue and purple team fully discover this. Oh, let me just show you. They like start over here and like move further. Basically just, don't know why I need to explain that, but at least know. So this means the central continent the starting continent is fully discovered. Now I just need the next checkpoint, is it fully colonized? Which I will not do till episode 10, well, no I shouldn't. Anyway, talking about countries expanding, the Austrian country kind of starts moving around the mountainous area up here, building the mountains down here. I hope I'm getting it right. And kind of does that, where they slowly expand, starting like there, going to like there, and there as the other countries expand. Eventually taking around that, which may look random, but is kind of surrounded by geography, which is hostile. But also the Lilac and Austrian country do make a peace treaty, something like that. For the land they can't actually colonize because it is mountains. Which leads to that. The brown team, seeing this, decides to quickly expand up to there. So the green team expanding and kind of surrounding them with the Austrian team. But anyway, that is enough expansion for now. Let's do some war. So, I don't know, let me get the alliance snap up real quick. There. Oh, I forgot that on alliance. But this alliance here starts to dislike the Explorer group, as they have proven they will attack their alliance in the past. I don't know if they'll lied at the time, but they have attacked during the war with this country. So they start to plan an attack. Let me take the alliance layer off and move the mouse a bit back because move forward. So on the night, I'm going to call the night of the 77 nights. 7 attacks occur across the border. 1 there, 1 here. That happens early in the night, followed by at midnight around an attack there, an attack here, and an attack taking this area here. This isn't the only country that's hit by this, as another attack happens here, and then a final attack happens taking this entire island. By the next morning, a front line is starting to form as the tribal nation starts to push in, followed by tons of square team troops that push to the coast, trying to split up the green team, which some go successfully, some don't. I'm not even going to do this war up here, but they fold instantly. They just at war. They do not have the capacity to do another war. However, with the collapse of that country, they start to flood into this area that is not defended as well as they expected. This country would last at least a bit longer. This encircled area starts to get absolutely, bombarded as the front line continues to push in this area. However, these spearheads are pushed back as the troops all across the empire start to return. No area of the empire tries to rebel. However, many protests start to occur in this country as many reports of dead soldiers are starting to return home. So they try to speed up the war by forcing an attack across here, which may look successful, but takes millions of troops. This front up here is still not stable, but stabilizes around there, with a stalemate happening all across the line. The navy, as the yellow line team navy arrives, they fully circle this island, taking it back. They then cut off this canal area. Wait a minute. They shouldn't have those islands. Actually, theirs. Sorry, that was a little mistake. There, it fixed. They basically. Anyway, let me get a colour. Let's do this light green. These islands are occupied, so I don't know why I was messing around with them. And these islands down here are occupied as well. I'm going to do a dark green because I need a turn. And what's a good colour? I like this. Okay, that's an alright colour. No, they do not take the coast. These islands are fully occupied. As the Navy starts to push up, cutting off the support, as this island is then landed on, fully surrounded and taken, followed by these two islands later on. This country decides to pull out of the war without actually fighting, as they see the islands are easily taken. Later, followed by them leaving the alliance. Followed by the purple team leaving the alliance. Also, these guys aren't part of the alliance. Neither of these guys, as they both kind of fell. I've got to change that. Followed by these guys also leaving the alliance. There's only 2 people left. That's the wrong layer. The line team starts a mass pushback with millions of civilians actually wanting to help this, as they are a lot freer than the tribal nation and the dictatorship up there. As the mass pushbacks start to occur, areas start to rebel, as this empire starts to fall. The line team does not occupy this area, but liberates it, which shows to the people living here that they do not have anything to fear. So they start to rebel, leading to the entire of this area fully coming back, as the troop occupation isn't as rough as the front lines. We're not going to do a different colour for their push, as it is literally just green team troops, but a push is started from the pink team border, kind of pushing behind the front lines and kicking the soldiers, encircling them, and then killing them as they do not surrender, which leads to a lot of the front line actually collapsing, which leads to mass pushbacks of the green team. The navy of the green team over here does manage to make a sort of corridor where they can start to transport troops to this country here. So as the troops start to arrive, they do manage to keep the push happening down here, taking east land and taking back the land up here. However, they cannot push back into this country. A landing is made here, followed by a landing opposite to it in the capital of the tribal nation. This attack leads to revolts starting to occur in the old Maroon territory, as their capital is re-liberated. They reinstate themselves. Let me get the right colour. Yeah, it's 15. Let me get the major city so it's in the right location. There. They restate themselves as a nation, as many old Maroon team citizens start to put health on the right tool. As many citizens start to rebel, the Maroon team formally starts to aid the Lime team as the, what's going to call it, tribal nation does start to send troops up, leading to them being pushed back to there. But it is already too late, as the Lime team troops are starting to flood in around the capital and flood into the Maroon team lines as they hand the territory over to them. The Lime team's plan to destabilize this tribal nation is successful, which, to everyone's surprise, leads to the tribal nation attempting to surrender. But it is not successful, as the peace treaty tells their allies, well, basically the peace treaty they say is that we keep all our land, the Maroon team is dead, and we'll just give you some money. The Lime team says no, as they keep invading. Eventually, the retreat is called retreating all troops out of Lime team territory. The Lime team army starts to push, following the retreat, meeting up the lake, and taking all of that land. Their push up here is pushed back, however, but then they agree to peace with this country here, under the conditions they get to keep these islands here, which the country reluctantly agrees, as it is better than any peace they could possibly get any other way, which leads to these islands becoming the Explorers Islands. And they even managed to sell on these to the Derby country, which they do actually kind of start to support the Lime team, as they see this as a good act. But anyway, the Lime team starts a pretty big naval invasion that eventually leads to the entire coast down here collapsing, leading to the front down here collapsing, leading to one of the most powerful areas of the lake falling. The only powerful area left is here. The troops retreat from all sides to protect the industrial area. However, the troops do start to attempt to overthrow the government, which leads to the eventual surrender, as the chief, I'm going to say, is deposed. Anyway, I'm going to cut to a peace treaty, as I'm not going to make you watch it, and I'll see you after that. Anyway, I'll show you what happens in the peace treaty now. So, the Maroon team gets this territory. The Pink team, even though they barely did anything in the war, they get this territory as a sort of return gift, actually. Let me add a province from the Lime team of you. I should have done this in the peace treaty I just cut a few seconds ago. But as the Lime team, that did not work at all. Actually, that probably looked better. Sorry about that. But the Lime team does give up that territory to the Pink team. Let me just pretty up the borders a bit. There we go. I'll give them that province. Sorry about this. Being very indecisive. Anyway, the Pink team gets that, while the rest of the tribal nation is annexed. I've also realised I forgot to We need to do the fancy major cities. I just cut that out for no reason. I'm so sorry. Now let me get rid of the capital. Sorry about it, but there we go, we've done it. Anyway, the Square Alliance is officially deleted, as there's only the green bean that remains. And that is it. Over here, let me check how long I've been recording. Let's do one last thing, because I don't want it to be that long. Over here, we haven't gone over to Ruth Chan for a while, so let's do a bit of expansion. That is mainly just inland, but also speeds up with the coast down here. And the Ruth Chinese also let distance rights get out, as they're nice. But anyway, that is the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, like and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, comment ideas, or what I could do, names, anything. But also, have an amazing day, if I haven't said that already. Also, I haven't shown, that's the name of this one down here. But have an amazing day, and good. Bye.